In the cross-border region between Bulgaria and Romania, many beautiful churches and monasteries attract numerous tourists and pilgrims with their architectural beauty or breathtaking natural scenery among which they majestically rise. One such place is Sta Haya Monastery in Romania, lying some 60 kilometers away from the city of Craiova, where our pilgrim tour will begin. Its name comes from the old Bulgarian word streha, meaning hidden. Built by the local ruler Matei Basarab in the middle of the 17th century, the fortified monastery complex is an exquisite example of Romanian medieval architecture. This holy place still holds memories of the difficult past of its country. In 1821 it was transformed into a fortification facility, and in 1957 the communist rulers banned all of its religious activities, turning it into a museum. After the fall of the regime, it resumed its function as a monastic order. The monastery church is one of the last works of the Muntenian school of the 17th century. Its narthex was built under the rule of Constantine Brâncoveanu in 1693. To the left of the naos we find a portrait of Matei Basarab, and to the right, those of the founders of the monastery. Possibly due to an error in construction, the church is the only one in the country whose altar faces south, contrary to the general rule for church altars to face east. 75 kilometers from Craiova, near the border with Bulgaria, lies the all-female Maglavit monastery, known all over Romania for its miracles, which is our next pilgrim destination. The legend goes that in this place in 1935, the shepherd Petrache Lupu saw a white-bearded old man rising 2 feet above the ground. The old man appeared before the shepherd on each of the following Fridays, instructing him in the ways of the world, the church, and the righteous faith. Shortly thereafter, a monastery was built in this place which began to accept thousands of believers every day. Our next stop is the medieval Danubian city of Vidin in northwest Bulgaria. A splendid river park, a medieval castle, hidden fortified walls, museums, breathtaking views of the Danube, pedestrian alleys, river restaurants serving traditional local food are just some of the attractions this city has to offer. Vidin's oldest churches date back to the 17th century. The legend goes that in 1806 many priests and laymen were killed in the church of St. Paraskevi because of their alliance with Serbian insurgents against the Turks. Other stories link the accidental burning of another old church in the city, the Church of St. Panteleimon, with complaints made to the Sultan by local Muslims claiming that its services interfered with their daily prayers. A Turkish invasion in the area ended with the slaughter of its entire priesthood. Today, this church is home to an ancient, miraculous silver-covered icon of St. Panteleimon. The esteemed national leader, St. Sophronius of Vratsa, served here for 2 years during his exile to the city. Another of Vidin's noble clergymen was Antim I, the first head of the Bulgarian Exarchate. Since ancient times, Saint Panteleimon has been venerated as the patron of the holy Vidin metropolis and of its seat, the city of Vidin. Our next pilgrim destination is the beautiful Strupeț monastery of Saint Elijah the Prophet. Built in a picturesque area on the banks of the Iskar River near the city of Vratsa. Founded during the time of the Second Bulgarian Empire, today the monastery is a vivid place, attracting many pilgrims. Its complex includes 2 churches, a 3-story building, and a beautiful old stone water fountain, decorated with a snake chasing a lizard and other animals. The Church of St. Nicholas the Wonder Worker is an impressive sight with its unique murals taking us back to the time of its founding in the 16th to 17th century. We will head to the city of Pleven with its numerous attractions. Pleven Epopee Panorama and Ossuary Memorial, commemorating the Russo-Turkish Liberation War. Beautiful Kailuka Park, a home to rich and diverse plant and animal life. Lakes, rocks, boats, hotels, bars and restaurants. These are just some of the surprises the city holds for its visitors. The most significant historical landmark here is the chapel mausoleum of St. George the Conqueror. Built in memory of those who fell during the siege of the city, this ossuary keeps the relics of thousands of Russian and Romanian soldiers. The Metropolitan Church of St. Nicholas, built far back in the 13th century, is a beautiful cultural monument and home to the largest collection of 68 icons of the distinguished Samokov school of icon painting. Our final pilgrim destination is the old church of St. Paraskevi. Here in 1850, a small church was built of hedges and lime. Therefore, it is also known as the Hedgery Church. In 1870, a magnificent 3-nave basilica was erected on the site of the old church. Its icons are entirely made of wood, and its murals were painted by the talented Bulgarian artist of the late 19th and early 20th century, Gospodin Serbesov. Built, plundered and rebuilt on many occasions, the monasteries and churches of the cross-border region of Bulgaria and Romania are and always will be true pillars of spiritual education, religion, and culture, and real guardians of the Christian Orthodox faith and the identities of these 2 nations.